Hey guys, so we're here making a quick video about a Mossberg 500. A friend of mine actually asked for some help or insights about some manipulation about the Mossberg 500, some chokes and things like that. So let's get on with the video here. So first, let me just go through what's on the table here so we can clear that off. Now the Mossberg 500 that I have it didn't come with all of it. It was a combo package with the rifled barrel with the cantilever scope mount. So I already have a scope on here, but as you can see, maybe I can take this off. The rail is already attached to the barrel. So what's nice about that is once you set your sights on the scope, then you can take off the barrel without having any risk to, losing your sights and everything like that. So everything stays perfect and tuned to the barrel. There's a 24-inch barrel. I originally had one that was ported. I sent it in because it had some issues in the rifling, and I can't remember what the twist rate is, but this is a rifled 24-inch barrel, which I use for firing sabot slugs for hunting. Works very well with federal, what is it now? The freight train. It was called the Trophy Copper or something like that, but works really good. I've killed a couple of deer with that. The other barrel that it came with was this ported barrel. As you can see, the port's on here. I also had it on the 24-inch when I had it originally before I swapped it out. But that porting is really going to help with the recoil reduction. And this is their 28-inch smoothbore barrel. And this one does have a choke on it. The only modifications I made was the sights here, but much better TrueGlow fiber optic sights, I believe it is. So there's that. This is the first 18.5-inch home defense barrel. It's a smoothbore barrel just with the bead on it that I got as well. And nothing too special about it. All these, by the way, can hold up to or can fire 3-inch shells. So we have that as well. And what's really neat, if you get into muzzle loading but don't want to buy another specific dedicated muzzle loading shotgun, you can also buy a muzzle loader conversion barrel. It's also a rifled barrel, so for the sabots that you put in there, it'll help with your spinning. I did put a cloth here just to keep bugs and spiders and whatever debris going into the barrel during storage, because I don't really use this much. It comes with its own cleaning rod here, or a rod that you need to use to put your powder and bullet into this into the barrel here. It's a plastic one did break on me, but Mossberg has really good customer service. They sent me a new one, but I don't really use this much anymore other than cleaning. But if I'm going to be putting a bullet and sabot in here, I bought one that was a little bit more sturdy and stronger and not going to be so flimsy when putting it in. So there's that. Has its own little fixed iron sights there basically. And then this is the original plastic polymer buttstock that I had on it. I took this off for the recoil reduction stock made by Blackhawk Spec Ops or something like that. If you're interested, I could put a link in the description or just send a comment and I'll let you know. It's just the Gen 2. They have like a Gen 3 now, maybe a Gen 4, I don't know. But I just stuck with the Gen 2. It does a really good job on mitigating the recoil. And for more on that, I can discuss later. But that's basically what I have on it now. I'll show you a little bit. But what's nice is that this buttstock, all you have to do is take off a screw here, maybe loosen this one. That's all I do. Once you do that, you can access a well, I have to unscrew it some more to open it up, but there's a bolt in here that goes all the way down, just a hex bolt, and you just can get a long extension on your socket or ratchet, and you'll be able to take this off very, very easily. Just held on by one bolt. To show you that, you should probably carry a nice little pack at any case to the range that has all the things that you might need, such as chapstick. Okay, just kidding about that, but I don't know why I have that in there. Probably just need a place for it. But I have some batteries and screwdrivers in here. But going back to the Mossberg specifically, I have always this socket, this extender, and the matching socket somewhere in here. Always be organized. Ah, there it is, see? You put that on there, so anytime I'm at the range, if I forget to bring the tools to swap stuff out real quick, I always have this handy just to take off the stock. Fits in here nicely. It's just from Harbor Freight, a basic little box here like that. But always carry it like that. You can also put like chokes in here. So we'll set this aside. Let's go first through, well, we'll save this. Let me show you the gun. This is the Mossberg 500 12 gauge 3-inch chamber, and the current setup right now is meant for home defense. So this is the buttstock assembly that I showed you earlier. This has its own tooling that you can take off to remove. So I do that if I want to go skeet shooting, for example. I still leave this on for deer and turkey hunting because of the recoil reduction. There's a spring here in the stock and a spring in the grip. So this piece right here is going to slide on this under recoil. So those springs are going to counteract the recoil that you're feeling. This right here is a side saddle. Originally you could mechanically attach this via some screws and roll pins, which I decided not to do that anymore because I just switched to a Velcro pad, because this is nice and easy to put on and take off, and it holds up to the recoil. So it's not going to fall off. Put that on there really good, use some good Velcro. But I take this off if I'm going to go skeet shooting, maybe hunting. If not, I just take off these rounds and put something else in there. So this is loaded. So now's a good chance to show you how to unload it. There's two ways to unload it. Pull the trigger, or if you can see, there's this fancy lever right here. So that's the only way that you can use to open or pull this forend back, right? So we're gonna push that, drop this. As you can see, a round is gonna come out. My shotguns are always loaded because a gun's not useful if it's not loaded, right? But what's the point? All right, it's a little, it doesn't, it's user error here, but yeah, there they come out. You got to get in the right kind of position to do this. So we're just going to keep doing that. I'm going to close it, push this button up, pull it back. It's going to pull another shell out of the magazine tube. Now this can go a lot faster if you're doing it not on video. There you go. Cycle it a few times just to clear that. And some white flakes came out. I don't know what that is. Spider eggs or something, who knows? But yeah, maybe I'll have to clean. This has been in storage for a while. So anyway, it's unloaded. That's how you unload it. That's how you pull the forend back if you need to do that, right? Just push that button down. Next is, that I'll show you real quick, is how to take off the barrel. It's super easy. Go ahead and rack this back, and you can see that all I have to do is unscrew this. This just screws into the magazine tube. And we'll talk about this barrel. So barrels seem to be quite cheap. I got this on CDNN Sports for like 80 bucks. Actually, I lied because this is the original one. I replaced the bead sight with a nice fiber optic one, which is a lot easier to pick up on. So this is the original one. I recently bought this one from CDNN Sports. Now this has the brass bead, the original one that you're gonna get probably. And this one, the reason I got this is because it takes choke. So you can modify that by putting a tight choke in there, a full choke, cylinder choke. But this one I haven't played around with. That's why I didn't have to put it on here. I want to take it to the range and do some patterning with this before I put it on there and be comfortable with using this as self-defense, home defense shotgun, and I probably will change that sight out again. But in any case, now that we're talking about chokes, I just keep my chokes in something I found laying around, a little organizer right here with a few other things like some optic plates. But in any case, you'll get these chokes that it comes with, and probably this thing. This is called a choke key. Basically, you can see these notches. The way this works is the chokes from Mossberg have these indents in them, right? So these can fit a variety of different sizes or shapes of chokes, sorry. You can put that in there like that, and you'll be able to spin that, tighten that in, or take them out, right? So get something like that, but that's super easy. So the way you identify these chokes is there's some lines on them or notches. Maybe I'll get a picture of that real quick to show you real quick what I mean on the screen here. But those notches signify if it's a full choke, intermediate choke, or modified choke, or full cylinder choke. A cylinder choke is just going to match the diameter of the barrel. So that kind of stuff is just what you'll use there if you want to, because you want to use a cylinder's choke. Let's go back in case so that you can protect the threads in there. You don't want to just not have a choke in there for a cylinder bore. So yeah, make sure if you just want a smooth bore, protect those threads in there with just a basic simple cylinder choke. So I'll just show you. If you just kind of hand tighten that in there, eventually you'll get it so close to the muzzle that you won't be able to screw it in anymore. And you'll need the key here to tighten it up. And what's easy is you can always take these out to clean the threads. An ultrasonic cleaner is super easy, and make sure your threads are clean. So anyway, that's how you do it. It's quite simple and easy how to do that. And then let's just go ahead and put this on the gun. Actually, it's super easy on the Mossberg 500s, right? A lot of shotguns do this anyway, so it's nothing super special. You put that in there like that, and then you just screw this down, right? So once you get that tight, you can kind of hear a ratchet from the ball bearing. But anyway, that's super easy how you do that. So the gun is still unloaded, right? Basically, hold the shotgun on the outside of your pec. A lot of people want to put it on their shoulder. I don't know why, or their inside of their bicep. That's going to hurt a lot. So don't do that. You'll get some bruises there. Now, put it in the front. What I do is like hold the gun out like this and just put it like right on the outside of my pec. Because if you had it on the shoulder, a lot of people, you got to like bend your head down like this, cock the neck. That really hurts. I don't know why people do that or how they can do that like that. Put it on like this, right on the outside of your pec, and just lean your head and neck kind of forward to rest it on this stock, just like this. Okay, so I'm just, here's how it looks like. I'm not doing this or anything, right? So it's super easy and comfortable. You kind of give a little shrug, bring the gun up to your face, keep your cheek here. A lot of people don't like doing this because of the recoil, but you have to do it if you want to aim properly, right? Because you've got to look down the whole side of this from the receiver all the way to the bead. If you don't do that, and if you're kind of looking up here, now your eyes are going downwards to the bead and you'll be aiming basically lower, right? So I had a friend do that. He's like, man, the gun's a little bit, it's aiming high or aiming low or something. And the whole time he was like scared to put his face all the way down on it and looking up like this, face not even on it. And that's why. And I shot his same gun and it was super accurate. It was accurate where I was aiming. So that's the problem. Aim properly, eyes straight down to the receiver, all the way to see the tip of the bead, right? That's how you aim a shotgun, right? Let's go to the safety. Safety's on, right? This is the safety on a Mossberg 500. Super easy, on-off switch more or less. This used to be red. The red dot's gone away after lots of cleaning. Some guns have the safety here on the side, like a Remington 870, or some other guns, it's just a switch that goes back and forth, a sliding switch, basically. But, you know, for the Mossberg 500, people say they like this because it's more ambidextrous for left or right-handed shooters. And on here, I mean, I guess so too, but then your safety, you just have to know which way is on and off, right? So we'll turn it off. Now I can show you, you know, pull the trigger, and then you pull this back to reload another one. The one's going to eject, and that's basically how the shotgun functions. So with that, let's see what other peculiarities. Disassembly is super easy. I mean, since I have the stock on here, it's going to be a little bit more in-depth or work to get this off and then clean it. But if you had the original stock, super easy, one bolt basically to come out. But then it's only got 2 pins. You pull those out, and then this trigger group here is going to fall out, and then you can access all the internals with the bolt and the elevator, everything like that. That's all easy to do, in my opinion. After, I don't know, once you get the hang of it, how to put it back together, there's videos on how to do that. But yeah, loading it, if you want to know how to load it, basically this is the chamber here. These edges can be a little sharp. Mine's a little bit sharp, but I've never cut myself. It's just a little uncomfortable digging on your thumb. Might be worth to round that off later on. It might be another mod I do just to like smooth down that edge there on the sides. But basically drop it in like that and you just push it in, right? Push it in like that. Okay, super easy. You only get like 5 rounds in there or something, I think. I think it's 5 plus 1. And if you can only get a few in there, there's probably a stick in the magazine too here, because they sell that with the gun, because some states, you know, restrict how many rounds you can put in here for hunting, for example. So you can always keep that. If your state only allows, you know, 2 rounds in the tube, then go ahead and put that in there to kind of like prove that, okay, your gun is set up to only allow maximum 2 rounds anyway. And with that, let's see, there are a lot of aftermarket parts and accessories for the Mossberg 500. I did add this little Picatinny rail. I don't really use it, but it's there when I don't know, I think I've attached the bipod to it once, but yeah, I took it off. You don't really need anything on the shotgun. And when you do that, make sure nothing is touching the barrel here in the gap, because if you touch anything with the barrel here, you could, you know, it might affect the harmonics of the barrel. I've noticed, like, if something is touching there, now my rounds are off on the target. But, you know, keep everything free from touching that if you can. There is also these, I forgot to say, some tapped and, you know, threaded holes here at the top of the receiver here, because you can, if you want, put a physical Picatinny rail. Really easy. It comes with the screws. You just unscrew the factory ones here, just because they're placeholders to make sure no debris gets in there. Take those out, put the Picatinny rail in, screw it down. Now you can add scopes, red dot, whatever you want. I decided to keep it nice and clean for the home defense setup and just use the front sight. That way there's not too much aiming or decision making going on. Point and shoot. And plus, if I put the 24-inch barrel on here, it's going to cover that area anyway and then be in the way. So other purposes, I might use a rail here, which I do have a rail. I use it sometimes for when I have the muzzle loader barrel on here, just so that you can have some a better sight to look at, because the iron sights might be a little bit hard to look at, or if you want to shoot a little bit long distance and be more accurate. Okay, I think that's probably it. You know, there's not much to say other than, you know, lube it up properly like you would any other gun. But shotguns are probably one of the most basic firearms out there. They all kind of work a little bit the same way, and I'm not talking about bullpups or semi-autos and things like that. This is a basic pump action gun where you just have a receiver, a removable barrel, and pumping this, right? Okay, so I hope you liked that video. If you have any more questions or comments or something, just leave them in the video down below, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible, right? So if you don't like the video, go ahead and click that thumbs down button twice, and we'll see you next time.
Apocalypse.